It finally happened. In 2003, the film companies finally got it right, and New Line Cinemas put out Freddy vs. Jason in 2003. It's the battle, evil versus evil, we've all been waiting for. Let's get into it.
Come on!
Freddy vs. Jason. Place your bets.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to FACCI'S Horror Movies and More. And today I'm talking about the much anticipated battle between Freddy vs. Jason. This movie stars, of course, Robert Englund as the beloved Freddy Krueger. Jason in this one is Ken Kersinger. We were all hoping for Kane Hodder, but we got Ken Kersinger. He was that guy who got thrown up against that glass window in Jason Takes Manhattan. Yeah, that's that guy. We got Monica Aquina. She's pretty much the final girl in this movie. And damn, she's one good-looking final girl, I'll tell you that right now. This was directed by Ronnie Yu. It took forever for this movie to actually come in and get made and whatnot. There was battles over the rights and everything, and then they finally got it done, and this is what we got. It ain't the greatest thing. It ain't the worst thing. So there really wasn't too much complaining, because this is what the fans been asking for, and we finally got the battle of these two famous evil villains from the 80s finally meeting up. The plot of this story is Freddy doesn't have his powers anymore, so he needs somebody to get the children of Elm Street scared again. So he gets the almighty Jason Voorhees, tricks him into waking him up, thinking it's his mother, but it's actually Freddy, sending him to Elm Street to kill again so the kids will remember and bring up Freddy Krueger's name again to give him the power and spread the fear so he can go back to Elm Street and start killing his precious children. What he doesn't know is that once you turn Jason on, there's no off switch. He just kills, kills, kills. Just like Freddy said in the movie, "You're a big stupid dog who won't stop eating!" Because he just keeps killing. He doesn't know how to stop. It's a great premise in order to get these two to fight, to go into battle against each other. I don't know how otherwise you would even get them two together. It really wouldn't make any sense. One's in the dream world, one's in Crystal Lake, but this time Jason was dead, so he needed to be resurrected. Yeah, this is like the only way this could have happened. It's the only way. So Jason goes to Elm Street and just starts killing and finally brings Freddy back with the fear, but like I said, he won't stop, so then Freddy gets pissed and tries to kill Jason, but he can't because Jason cannot die. His mom told us in the movie. And it's just a good, fun-ass movie. I guess it doesn't have the best characters. I really don't like any of them. Monica Aquina, the final girl, yes, she's good to look at. No, I don't think she's a very good actress in this movie. She whines too much, cries too much. Helpless damsel in distress. I don't like the performance. I don't think she's a good final girl. Will, I guess he's the final guy. He's okay. I think he's a little whiny too. So they make a perfect pair, but I didn't mind him as much as Monica Aquina. Kelly Rowland is a side character. Didn't like her character. Really wasn't, just more annoying than anything. Pretty much all the side characters in this movie are, for the most part, super annoying, and nobody cares about them. And they're just there, literally, to be killed. That's the whole point of them being in this movie, because they serve no purpose at all. The acting is also not very good, for the most part. I mean, it is what it is in a Friday film, in a Freddy film, but it could have been better. A little over dramatic, kind of lifeless at some points as well. Freddy in this movie, typical Freddy. You get Robert Englund dressed up for Freddy Krueger for one last time. And he looks the part. He looks great. Especially, he looks really good when he flies out of the water. When he looks like a straight up demon. That's badass. He looks so cool at that part of the movie. Jason, on the other hand, shitty. Probably one of the top worst looks of Jason in the whole franchise. This is probably only behind literally Jason Goes to Hell for me. I don't know. He's super tall. He's more like Frankenstein than anything else. He's lumbering. He walks really slow. Every time he takes a footstep, psh, psh, you hear it like implanting into the ground. It doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. Like I said, his overcoat thing he's wearing, I don't know what that is. His head is super shiny and weird. It's like burnt. I don't know. I just don't like the look of Jason. Like I said, it's probably up there for top worst of the franchise. Whenever Mark and Will get out of there, locked up at Weston Hills because they were having dreams about Freddy, so they were taking Hypnosil, which is a drug to stop dream. They escape because they see that at 1428 Elm, which is the Nightmare on Elm Street house, Monica, his girlfriend's house, Lori, there was another murder there. So he has to break out and go try to save her. And then pretty much the rest of the movie is Will and Mark, his buddy that escaped as well, trying to get to Lori so they can save her from Freddy and see what exactly is going on. But then they also don't know that Jason Voorhees is here slashing people up, so it ain't even Freddy. It's just Jason killing and killing and killing. And he doesn't know how to stop. Most of the kills in the movie are Jason, which I love because I'm a Friday guy. Freddy gets one kill in the whole movie. One. And the majority of this movie has a Nightmare on Elm Street feel. But he only has one kill. The last third, I would say, is a Friday the 13th film, and that's because it takes place at Camp Crystal Lake. Other than that, it's Jason picked up, dropped at Nightmare on Elm Street. I prefer to be at Camp Crystal Lake because I'm not a Freddy guy, but that's just my opinion. A badass scene in this movie is the cornfield scene. And Jason's standing there and those two guys throw alcohol on him and set him on fire. That scene is badass. When he's killing all those people, when he's on fire walking through the corn. Field. Killing the people at the party, minus the fact the way the blood sprays out of these people is so terrible. One slice and it's spraying freaking everywhere. Just go back to practical effects like in the 80s. I'd rather have that than watching blood spray 3 feet away from the body. I don't want to see it. At one point, he swings the knife. You don't even hit the kid right beside the keg of beer. You don't even hit the kid. Blood spraying on everyone. Everywhere. I guess they didn't notice that Jason missed them. But yeah, they could do away with all the blood spraying. And that's not just in that part of the movie. That's in pretty much the entire movie. Every time somebody gets cut or stabbed, blood everywhere. I know they wanted to go for gore. I get it. But do it a different way. I don't need to see corny CGI blood squirting everywhere. And this movie has a ton of CGI. Way too much. Like when that caterpillar thing is going in that high guy's mouth and walking around on the floor. CGI. Looks shitty. That's kind of what you got in the 80s. That shitty, weird stuff that happened in Freddy's dreams. I didn't like it. I don't like the CGI in that as well. Another thing that bothers me in this movie, every time somebody gets hit, they fly like 30 feet. Jason hits Kelly Rowland's character, flies 30 feet into a tree. He hits Linderman, flies 15 feet over that way. Picks up Freddy, throws him 30 feet that way. I don't know if Ronnie, you liked spraying blood and throwing bodies 50 feet, but that's what it seems like, because that's all that happens in this movie. Every time Jason swacks somebody, they fly away. It's just corny and dumb. Just let him kill him like he used to. It would have made the movie so much better. That's why people wanted to Kane Hodder to do the role of Jason instead, because he played the part with passion. This guy just played a role to get a paycheck and didn't look very good doing it. But that's what we got. We ain't gonna really bitch too much because we've been waiting for Freddy vs. Jason for a long time. Way back in 1993 when Jason Goes to Hell hinted to it. And he still didn't come out until 10 years later. So fans were just gonna take whatever they got. Monica says a stupid ass line. Jason died by water, Freddy by fire. How can we use that? You can't use it. Jason's in water all the time. He's under the lake half the time. He doesn't give a shit. Freddy, he lives in a boiler room. Fire all over the place. He does not care. So that line makes no sense. And they're not afraid of either one of those elements. So that part was really stupid and didn't make any damn sense in this movie. Where this movie is made is the Freddy vs. Jason fight scenes. We got the fight in the dream world, which it's Freddy kicking Jason's ass, but as we know, Jason can't die, so he just keeps doing shit to him and throwing freaking cement plates at him, driving a knife and he rips it out. He doesn't get it because he can't die. Then Jason wakes up and bam, they're on Camp Crystal Lake. Freddy's in the dream world still. Laurie goes in to get him, pulls him out. That scene is amazing. The music comes on. They're playing. Jason's behind him. Freddy's scared for his life. And Freddy tries to beat him up. Nope, Jason slams the shit out of him. Running him through the walls of the house. Freaking tossed him 30 feet in the air. Jason beating the shit out of him. But Freddy's smarter than him, so he does things that Jason can't do because he actually has a brain and thinks. He just doesn't act like a wild dog. But the battles between them are the last third act of the movie, and that is where the payoff is. You've been waiting for this forever, and it is amazing watching these two battle each other. Would have been better with a better Jason, I know, I keep saying it. But it was still enjoyable for what it was. It's Jason versus Freddy. How can you not love it? Really, two indestructible, immortal icons just going at it. For me personally, though, the Camp Crystal Lake fight is better. I enjoy more. Because Jason's flipping the table over, there's fire all around him. He looks pretty menacing, and I just like the way everything flows in that fight better than... Probably because I'm not a Freddy guy, I guess. I just don't like the dream sequence fighting as much as the in-person fighting at Camp Crystal Lake. For the majority of the fights, Jason does get his ass beat, surprisingly. Probably because he's so slow. He gets his ass beat, and... I mean, Freddy takes a beating as well, but for the most part, Jason's getting cut with his razor glove and all kinds of shit. Poked in the eyes, poked in the chest. Until they cut off Freddy's arm. Oh, that's so freaking... The way it looks is amazing. Fighting on that dock. Gets his arm cut off. Freaking... stabbing Jason right here. Stabbing Freddy. There's so much blood, it's unbelievable. You'd think these two wouldn't even have any blood as long as they've been around. They'd be dried out. But still do. Freaking Laurie and Will set up... light the freaking dock on fire, throw some flames, and say, Freddy! Go to hell! Freaking blows the hell up. Freaking propane tanks and shit. Big ass explosion. Sends Jason and Freddy, guess what? Flying 30 feet again like in the whole other rest of the movie. And then you hear walking on the dock. They think they're good. Nope, Freddy's back. One armed with Jason's machete. Who saves him? Jason Voorhees. What's he kill him with? Freddy's arm with the glove that got ripped off. Ironic. Ironic, and I loved it. Loved it. As his glove is sticking through his chest and Freddy can't believe it. And then Laurie says, Welcome to my world, bitch! Cuts his head off. Falls into the water. Then they give Jason back his machete like he's a hero. Thanks, Jason. You the man. You the man. That's it. You think that's it? You're like, oh, so they both lost. And then what happens? They show the foggy Crystal Lake walking out of the water. Mr. Jason Voorhees. And what's he got in his hand? Freddy Krueger's head. He said, yeah, Jason won, baby. That's what I was going for. But wait. They zoom in on Freddy's face, and guess what? Turns to the camera, winks, nightmare theme. They're like, oh shit, there's going to be a sequel, but he don't have a body, so I don't know how that's going to work. But never got one, because they've been tied up in court and whatnot, and yeah. Never made a Freddy vs. Jason 2. Whew. That was a lot to talk about. That was like a childhood right there wrapped up in one movie. I know it wasn't the best movie. I know the story I do think was pretty good. It was a pretty decent story. Characters were weak. Jason was weak. Freddy only had one kill. I thought this movie was really actually... It wasn't bad for what they had to work with and what the fans waited for. It wasn't that terrible. It was actually a really good time, actually. So honestly, out of 5, I'd probably have to give this one like a 2.75 out of 5. So it's almost close to a 3. So it's a pretty decent flick when you come to think of it. It's probably just the nostalgia for this movie. Grew up with these characters, been waiting for this moment forever since I was a little kid. It finally came. I've seen it like 3 times at the theater, seen it at the drive-ins. I was obsessed with this movie back when it came out. Over time, I gradually kind of went away from it. On rewatch, though, I had a good time with it. I appreciated it for what it was. Icon versus icon, I love it. And I just had a good time with it. I think it's a movie you put on when you got some friends over, just pop it in the background. It's just a fun movie. Fun movie. Have friends, have some popcorn, drink some beer, drink some soda. It's a good watch. But that's all I got to say on Freddy vs. Jason. As I'm almost wrapping up my Friday the 13th review series, I got one left. One of my favorites, Friday the 13th from 2009, the reboot. Super excited to do that one for you guys. Hopefully you like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you guys have nostalgia for this movie. How many times did you see it when it first came out? Were you excited for it? You really didn't care? Let me know. Leave them in the comments below. And definitely, let's get a conversation going. Let's see what we all think about this movie. I mean, it's a classic movie that did something that fans have been waiting for forever. So I'd love to hear your opinion on it. And by the way, welcome to my channel, bitch. Have a scary day.